Welcome to Blowing Solutions Wide Open. My name's Addie Halkin, and I am here with a very special guest. There's a reason this is my first guest ever. This gal is somebody I met recently. I've had a lot of pleasure just getting to know her. She is the person who has inspired this channel, and I can't wait to hear what she has to say. She's going to give us a little information about experiences she's had around I believe, the education industry. And take it away. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. Go ahead and
well,
introduce yourself.
well, thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate being here, and I'm glad I was able to help you out and getting yourself started. Um,
Yes, thank you.
yeah, it's going to be a pleasure. It's going to be a joy. Uh,
Definitely.
well, I got started in childcare, and early on in age, I decided I wanted to be a teacher early around second grade or so because of my second grade teacher. Well, I never got into the actual school system of teaching, but I got into daycare and I learned a lot about daycare. And I ended up, my last position was being a 1-year-old teacher. And so I had a class of like five in my class, and they were a joy. They were such a joy. But times started changing, and I realized how the early childhood education was moving. I didn't appreciate. I didn't care for it. I felt like they were trying to put all the kids into a mold and bringing them up to think the same, to almost look the same. I mean, it was just maybe not that bad, but but it's like everybody had to learn the same thing and at the same time, and it just seemed very controlling with them, and I felt really not right with it. I felt like I couldn't do anything because one child was not at the same age or level, and I had to bring everybody else down to that level. And I didn't, I didn't like that. I thought there was something different about it, and I was told I wasn't able to teach a 1-year-old how to clean up after themselves. And I'm like, and that was by my professor at the time. And I'm like, my 5-year-olds are cleaning up after themselves. They can do it. They're more than capable, but I was told it wasn't age appropriate. And I'm like, I don't get that. I don't get it. And I was also talked to or told that a 1-year-old isn't capable of eating with utensils, to allow them to eat with their hands. And again, like you're looking at me, it's like, what? No, they're fully capable of doing that. Um, I was also told in our little circle time, I would teach them sign language, I would teach them colors, I'd teach them alphabets, numbers, all kinds of stuff. And again, I was told the kids aren't capable of doing that. It's not age appropriate. I'm like, why? How is this not age appropriate? The kids are learning it. They've got it. And I was also told in my circle time I wasn't allowed to go past 5 minutes. There were times we were sitting there for almost 20 minutes and the kids were still engaged and still wanting to learn. I didn't stop because these kids were wanting to learn, and I'm not going to stop. If they were getting all antsy and everything, yeah, we would stop. They weren't going to learn anymore. But they were so intrigued with me reading a storybook to them and teaching them sign language and teaching them all this stuff that I wasn't supposed to be teaching them. Um, One time I had one of the upper people visiting my classroom, and I typically didn't allow this to happen in my class, but My kids are awesome. They were so awesome. They had every toy almost out on the floor, off the shelves and everything. And I was like, wow. This is how the early childhood wanted it to be like. Allow the kids to get anything out they wanted and let them play with whatever they wanted. And when it was time to clean up, it was my job to clean everything up. And I was like, no, that's not the way my room works. And when this lady left, I just like, okay, guys, it's time to clean up. Let's start cleaning up. Not 5 minutes later, my 5 kids that I had in that room had everything cleaned up, off the floor, in its appropriate place. I didn't touch a thing. My kids knew what to do. They were on it. They did it. And there was no hesitation, no problem. They didn't fuss. There was no nothing. They just did it. They're capable. They are
So
capable.
with all that, what do you think it is that's going on? What do you think, what is kind of your hypothesis about what is going on with the education system at such an early age?
I feel like they are almost like at that age, they were putting the kids as depending on others too much. Even when I'm teaching them the alphabets and everything, I was told alphabets weren't to be taught until they were like 3 or 4 years old. I'm like, 3 or 4 years old, that's when they're done with their sponging. Whatever they're learning prior to that, they're going to learn. So I think they were just they're trying to control. It's kind of what I feel like they're putting them into a puppet and not allowing them to be who they are
Yes.
as an individual. They are putting all these kids into a form of a mold, and they have to learn the same level. They have to do this. If one person isn't able to learn it until 3 or 4 years old, then let's wait until everyone's 3 or 4 years old to teach them. No.
Right. It's definitely not supporting individuality.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I had the kids zipping up their own jackets. I had them working on that. And again, not age appropriate. It's like, how are these guys going to be independent when they get older if we don't teach them when they're young and absorbing all this stuff?
It seems insane to me. Like, why does any of that matter what age a child's doing that? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I did have one child in my class that had a disability, wasn't able to walk. She was fantastic. I love her. And even her, I had her cleaning up her own toys too. She would be in one spot where she'd do her crawling around at that point, and she'd be taking toys like, okay, it's time to clean up, you need to put your toys away. And everybody had to help out, even her. you know um Again, I feel like people viewed her as a disability and did things for her. And I was one of the only ones, if maybe, that didn't do that. I treated her as a person, and I think she really enjoyed that, really appreciated that, because she knew she had to do what the other kids were doing, and she wanted to be like the other kids, you know.
yeah.
And I don't know if I should say this online, but
Say
I did I did help her out in walking too. Um, she wouldn't do this in front of her family that came to pick her up. But I had her on her very own without me touching her. I gave her the ability to walk up 3 steps, go up on a slide. She walked up completely by herself. She sat down, she turned herself around, and she went down that slide by herself. She wouldn't do it in front of anybody else but me. That showed me she trusts me. And she appreciated that I was able to help her out in the walking. And it took time, but my other kids were fine. They were doing good. But I gave her a little extra help. And she loved it. She did that multiple times going up the slide down by herself. I was there to catch her if she fell, I wasn't going to just walk away, but she was fantastic. She's fantastic. And go ahead.
Oh no, it sounds like you're doing all the normal things. And I guess my question is, what do you feel like, what do you have ideas around how we change? I mean, I think this is the tip of the iceberg around the control around our education system. In fact, I have heard that it's probably the worst of the systems. Um, and it's probably being talked about the least of all the corrupt systems right now. So it's pretty appropriate that you came out in here and talked about it. But um, do you have ideas around how we shift this right now? Even small ones.
Yeah, I think we just need to look at the kids as individuals, allow them and treat them like humans, not kids that are incapable. Give them a power. Let them do it on their own. If you don't allow them to do it on their own, they're not going to have an independent mind growing up. And then what are we going to have when they're grown up? We're going to have people that are puppeting everybody around, and this world can't have that. I mean, we have to be individuals in order to survive in this world. And being an being an individual is going to help out in the sense that we can understand each other as an individual. We're not going to be able to classify and separate people. We're going to be as one because we can understand, oh, yeah, okay, you don't like to go fishing. I do. That's okay. It's
Uh,
okay.
yes,
You like this kind of person. I don't. It's okay. We can still be friends because you like something that I don't. Doesn't mean that we can't be friends. We have to be able to work together and being an individual and being okay that somebody else is an individual. We have to be able to communicate that way.
absolutely. Not only that, but I think the variety is what makes this life worth it. You know, how boring it would be if we were all cookie cutters. So
Yep.
I mean, I'm in total agreement. Not the right message is being sent to these kids.
Right. Yeah. And when you have a child in your class that has a disability and you are doing everything for that child, it's teaching the other kids that you have to do the same thing. You have to treat them like they are disabled. They're not. If they have the power and wants to do the same thing these other kids have and can do. If you work with them, you can help them out. And to go with the medical side of this, the doctors were even telling her not to walk. They have her in all of these wheelchairs and all of this and that. Not much help in getting her to walk. And I think had I been with her longer, she would have been able to walk on her own, maybe with crutches or with walking. I don't know what they're called, but some sort of help walking. I think she could have done it. Yeah. But last I heard, she's still in a wheelchair and working a little bit on her walking. And she's several years older now, and she's still working on walking. So I don't know. The medical side needs to help out with that type of situation too. But as a teacher, I felt it was my duty to help her be part of the class, to help her be as normal as possible with the other kids. And that's where I was at.
Oh, they lost a really good influence when you walked away. Uh, I
Yeah,
I suppose, just putting this message out and helping people hear this, we can work with kids we come across one on one as much as possible. Um, and I think you let me know, but I think it'd be a great thing if parents started standing up to the education system more and really
yeah,
supporting that individuality. I mean, the individuality is what's true to our soul. So
right.
to be taking that away is backwards.
Yeah, right. And the early childhood education is teaching the parents to be like this too. Is teaching the parents because the parents are working with the teachers and the teachers are being taught by the early childhood. And it's a clash. How how does that work? How does it work when a parent has to have their own time also? But if you have a parent that is having to open up a child's chips or something like that because they don't know how to do it at age 6, which I experienced. I worked in the school age room too, and those kids couldn't even open up a package of their candy bar or their whatever, fruit roll ups. They couldn't even open that
Wow.
because everybody else did it for them. I was like, what are you going to do when you get in school? The teachers can't do this for you. So I had to teach them how to open up those packages because they didn't know. I mean, they're being dependent on the elders. What are they going to do when the elders leave the earth?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I can't even go to the bathroom because I don't know how to wipe my bottom because someone did it for me. Is give the kids responsibility, allow them to grow and be a human, to work on their own. Because if you don't, where are they going to be? What are they going to be like in the workforce? I mean, when they get up, and the kids that I was thinking of at that point, when I started feeling this isn't right, are now heading into the workforce, and we're seeing they don't want to do anything. Um, they rather not do it, so they just either don't or take their sweet time doing the job. And so they're making it to where the kids, in some sense, they're disabled. They have a disability because no one taught them how to do these things. So now they're disabled because they can't function in
Right.
society.
Right. And
Yeah.
to me, it's a definite grooming, um, so that it's just a certain class of people can continue to control everything. Um,
Yeah. I could definitely see that.
so it's almost like this is the most, in a way, important thing to focus on is that beginning stage. Um,
Yes.
and I
How are
think
you?
it's just going to take people continuing to lift their awareness and any kid they come across, bring that energy and just really start, encouraging their independence.
Yeah.
I don't know another way.
Yeah, and you're right. And it starts as a child. The first 5 years of a child's life is where they're going to learn the most. That's what's going to set them up for the rest of their lives. And if you take all that education, like their numbers, their letters, and all of that, their colors, what are you going to have as a 6-year old just starting to learn that? They've passed that age. it's going to be a whole lot harder to teach those kids how to tie their shoes when they're 6 years old. I'm not bragging or anything like that, but my son was tying his shoes when he was like 1. I mean, he was young. He did it before he started school. And I did not allow him to have slip-on shoes. I got tie shoes because I want to make sure he knew how to do that. And now what I see in the system is they wait until, I don't know, second, third grade, and now they just have slip-on shoes. I mean, where's the hand-eye coordination? There's so much that goes into each of these little topics that develop so much of other areas in their lives.
Right.
Just tying their shoes. I mean, hand-eye coordination. How do you manipulate a shoestring to make a knot? There's science in that. You know, there's health issues. If you don't learn how to tie your shoes and your shoe falls off, you're going to be walking around without shoes, and that could cause problems in your feet, you know? Or if you step on a rock or glass or something like that. I mean, it's just
So
one little
basic,
thing.
but
It's a Yeah, it's so basic, but yet it's so involved that I don't even know if the ECE even knows about that. That's how I look at it. I see each individual thing that you're doing, even putting something away as a child, is so much. You have to have knowledge of, okay, what is this item? Is this a shoe or is it a ball? What is the similar item to that to put over here? Knowledge. You have to think about this. Then you're looking at color. You're doing all that. Then you have to be able to feel it. I mean, when you pick it up, there's touch involved. You're going to have to feel if this is this rough, if this soft, is this bumpy? What is this? And then you have to have the strength and the coordination to hold on to that item and walk over and put it away, which putting away is categorizing. I mean, there's so much involved just to put a single toy away. You're
right.
giving that child so much information. And if you take that away and not allow them or teach them to clean up after themselves until they're 6, how are they going to learn that?
Yeah.
How are they going to learn how to ride a bike if they can't work on standing up or walking with a toy in their hand? You know, there's so much involved.
I feel like the biggest part is not even so much the teaching, it's more the if we just stop blocking their natural instincts, then it all kind of works out. Not that you can't assist and teach. I mean, that was obviously your job, but
Right.
that they wouldn't allow you to do. But but if we just simply stop blocking these kids' natural ability, then
Yeah.
they don't. But it's the agenda. So
Yeah.
I think as
Yeah.
individuals, it's up to us to be around them and not block them.
And not block them. And then when you look at a child and see their excitement when they do something right, where does that put you? Their self-esteem flies and they feel so good about themselves. Like this little girl I was talking about, when she got up there and I was like cheering her on, like, you did this, that is so awesome, I'm just so excited for you. The glow in her was like, let's do it again, woohoo, let's go. It's amazing. And when someone blocks that, like you're saying, when someone blocks that, it just takes their self-esteem down, and then it's like, I can't do it. Why even try? I don't even want
Yeah.
to try. I'm being told I can't do it because, I'm not at age appropriate. I mean, that tears a child down.
Yeah.
It tears a child down. And how much suicide is going on in young teens, young kids? I mean, you gotta let them help themselves because they want that. They thrive on that.
Yes.
And I've seen that they thrive on having rules, you know? If you just let them run wild, they don't thrive on that. They thrive on, okay, oh, wait, if I do that to this child, I'm going to get it, set aside or whatever. They thrive on that.
A little bit of structure.
A little bit of structure. Yeah, they thrive on that because they know somebody's watching them. Somebody's paying attention to them and they care about you because they're giving you a line.
Mhm. Right.
You're not going to go over there and pull Susie's hair. No, I'm not going to allow that because that hurts Susie. I'm not going to allow that. Oh, she must care for me. For me, the one being having my hair pulled, she cares because I'm hurting.
Yeah.
The other one, oh, she cares for me. She doesn't want me to hurt people. She doesn't want me to get in trouble. She wants to be a good kid. She cares for me.
Right.
You just say, okay, Johnny, let's come over here and play when the Johnny's pulling Susie's hair. I'm going to pull you over here and we're going to play over here. That's just sidetracking the kid.
Right.
I mean, that didn't tell him that that's not okay to pull hair.
Right. I think these are all very good suggestions. I think that your experience in this industry is super valuable, and I think that I'm hoping that parents and just adults in general will really hear this and start implementing it. Um, we're running to that 30 minutes area right
Okay.
now, but uh, I definitely want to hear if you have anything more to add, and also if you want to talk about your channel, I'd love to hear about it. Um,
Oh,
I'm sure everybody would go ahead.
yeah, I do have another channel. I started my podcast just over a year ago, and it's more talking about different topic, but we talk about stories of the paranormal and spiritual journeys that people have experienced, and trying to open the light for that everyone can grow and be themselves.
And what's the name of it?
It's yeah, thanks. It's Light Talk with Dana, and it's on YouTube right now. I'm looking to spread it out to different platforms, so I'm looking into all that, seeing what I want to do. But it's Light Talk with Dana on YouTube, and check it out and see what you think. I know this is a little off your topic, but it kind of goes together. If we all work together and open up our minds to more things, we can solve problems that you're working on.
Right. Yeah, the thing I've loved about her channel is her motto. I hope you don't mind me sharing this, but her motto is, she's got one rule and that's you have to be yourself. And I
Mm-hmm.
think when I heard that, I thought that's fantastic. That's the kind of person I want to work with. And I think that ties into the message today is that, you're trying to say these kids have to be themselves. They have to be allowed to be themselves.
And I get that off, I can't remember. Oh, I just lost the movie. It's a movie, but it's Ariel and all of that.
Oh, the Little Mermaid?
Little Mermaid, yes. You got to be yourself, as Sebastian would say. And I got that from him. It's a song off the CD. It's like you got to be yourself. You can't be anybody else. I can't be Addie. Addie can't be me. But we can all swim in the same ocean. I mean, it's just you just can't do it. You can't be yourself. You can't, if you can't be yourself, you can't be anybody.
Yeah.
So just be yourself and allow your kids to be themselves. Help them out. Help them with their life skills when they're young. I tell my kid and his kids that are about ready to be married or is married and starting kids, train your kids from the day one. Teach them to be themselves. Teach them to be able to live on their own.
Yeah.
It all starts from day one, not year six.
Yes. I think that's a great place to end this. I think it's an awesome message. I'm so happy you came on. Thank you for being my first guest. Thank you for your incredible influence. You've been the only person that's actually been able to get me to do this. So I very much encourage everybody to go watch your some of your episodes on Light Talk with Dana because I think what you're doing is really great and you're connecting people and you have a great message. So thank you so much.
And also with you, your message is going to rock the world, and it's going to put some thought in people. So you keep going and be her guest. You have things to say, contact Addie because she's going to help you through it, and we're going to change this world as a
Yes.
group.
Yes, we are. Thank
And
you,
you
Dana.
rock on. All right,
Thank
you're
you so
welcome.
much.
Thank you. We'll
Have a
talk to you
wonderful
later.
day, guys.
All right.
Take care. See you on the next episode.